I smelled burning, and it wasn't from my red hot skills. It's because I'm Jeff, and clearly I'm just a guy who bakes sometimes. I'm working my way through the list of the top 100 desserts in the world. Subscribe if you want to feel better about your baking skills. Welcome to Dessert Passports, where I'll be randomly selecting, then ranking, the top 100 desserts in the world. I originally found this list on Taste Atlas in February of 2025. The list does periodically update, and I'll be working from the original one I found in mid-February. This recipe is from Taste Atlas, along with every other main recipe I'll be making, just to keep everything as consistent as possible. So I'll spin the cookie wheel already. The 9th recipe selected is Tarte Tatin from France. This was originally number 59 on the list. So let's spill some French tea. One tale speaks of a tired Stephanie, overworked and wrestling with apples. She was making a routine apple pie for the dinner crowd, and then, oh no, she exclaims, she has forgotten the crust for which the apples must perch. I know what to do, she exclaims again. I shall give these naked apples a blanket made of dough. And thus, she covered the apples from atop. Flipping the tart upside down revealed a beautiful caramelization not yet seen on apples previously protected and supported from the bottom. Stephanie had intercepted her own blunder and ran it in for a goal. Legend has it, this could also be fake news. Gasp. Sacre bleu. The recipe could have also been shared with them by another French foodie. The upside-down tart itself was not a new invention, but an emerging one. A famous French pâtissier that was also credited for Bavarian cream, watch episode 2, in his cookbook mentioned upside-down cakes with apples in his cookbook published in 1841, which is about 40 years earlier. In both cases, that klutz Stephanie was able to turn guests from saying faux pas into faux yas. Bob Ross would definitely be proud of her happy accident. Today you can find the tarte tatin using apples, pears, or other fruit. I've even seen some with caramelized onions, figs, and goat cheese. I'll be doing the classic apple version paired with homemade vanilla ice cream. We'll actually be starting with the vanilla ice cream on this one. It just takes time to freeze and set. Vanilla ice cream recipe in the description. I wouldn't put it there if it wasn't good. First you need eggs. This recipe was kind of rough, so I'll keep a mistake counter just for your enjoyment. Start with 4 egg yolks and whisk half a cup of white granulated sugar until it's pale and fluffy. You'll know what it should look like. In a saucepan on medium-low, heat 1 cup of whole milk until it starts to simmer. Start tempering the eggs by slowly adding warm milk. It should look less fluffy and paler. Think Scandinavian instead of American. Once tempered, return the mixture to the heat and turn it on low, and it should reach about 165 temperature freedom units. Pour the ice cream base into a container, chill it, and watch it drop to about 65 TFUs. Remember to strain your ice cream at least once, because I didn't. Once it reaches temperature, stir in 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. This was very vanilla forward, and I would only go down from here. Into the ice cream maker. Good cream sesh. Yeah, I'll never get tired of looking at finished ice cream. Proud dad. I'll be deviating a little bit from the tarte tatin. There's the original recipe, and then there's one that I found called the traditional recipe. This was the original recipe. As you can see, there are no measurements, and I'm already a baking challenged person. I don't need more challenges. The whole point of the channel was to bake with willpower, tenacity, and grit, not to just fail by my own baking ignorance. And I'm fine with that. You'll need a pretty deep pan, 24 centimeters in diameter, 5 centimeters deep, or 9.5 inches by 2 inches deep. Why you looking, weirdo? To make the dough, first add 170 grams or 6 ounces of all-purpose flour, 70 grams or 2.5 ounces of cubed cold butter, 20 grams of sugar, 1 pinch of salt, and now rub one out. Just incorporate the ingredients together until it looks like breadcrumbs. Add 1 egg, and incorporate that until you get a friend.
Help me! I'm not gonna make it!
Mess around and figure out why it's called cling wrap. Always wrap it before you bake it. Yee! Your dough into the fridge. Peel 3.5 pounds or 1.6 kilograms of apples. I used gala apples, and it's important to use the right type of apples to keep their shape while baking. If not, you'll just have apple mush on crust, which is maybe still good, but it's not what we're making. This is how I think the world record apple peeling would look like. If I learned anything in Boy Scouts, it's what you can and can't light on fire, and always cut towards your buddy, not yourself. Or something like that at least. This shot didn't really come out how I wanted it to, but I dirtied the camera for it, so I had to use it, of course. Quarter and core all of the apples. They should look like this, all the same, like when Squidward moved to the town of all squid people.
Wow, they have it! Canned bread! This town is great!
This is 80 grams or 2.8 ounces of Kerrygold unsalted butter and 130 grams of white granulated sugar. Let it melt and cover the entire bottom of the pan. This may or may not fit all the things. Guess there's only one way to find out. This is the pan that we decided to use. I had to get rid of my cast iron on my last move, actually. Thanks for the reminder, Stephanie Tatin. Arrange the apples neatly in little rows, outer side down, then over top add the apples core side down. Bake for 30 minutes. Preheat the oven to 200 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit. While that's baking, remove thy dough from thy fridge and try to roll it into a circle. This is something I've always struggled with. It's never going to be a circle if I roll it out, and those are just big feelings that I'll have to deal with off camera. On medium-high heat, place the dish on the stovetop for 25 minutes. This step is so important for the caramelization. I was about to shoot a progress shot, and then I realized why cake pans were only meant to be used in the oven and not on top of them. I took all the apples out and discovered my worst fear: mush. Part of the ambiance of the dish is whole caramelized apples, and the impromptu burnt applesauce sludge kind of ruins my mojo. I scraped out all the mush and the burnt parts, put it all back in as best as I could in rows, and then I put it on low to get that nice caramelization. Roll your dough on top and tuck the edges of the dough into the top layer of the apples. Prick with a fork and bake for another 25 minutes. Allow the tart to chill the F out for a sec. Then, with a firm hand, flip it upside down. Minus the couple bits that stuck to the pan, I think this came out rather nicely. This is probably how Kanye felt when he said, "I'm nice at ping pong." This is most definitely best served warm. Try it by itself first. It tastes like apple pie. Yeah, a little bit more caramel with the vanilla ice cream. Oh, vanilla's super strong. Together is so better. So much better. It's not as sweet as I thought it would be. I appreciate that it's warm. I think it has to be served warm. I think the apples kept the firm texture. You can see that I'm actually able to cut them. Overall, super successful by taste. Maybe not by presentation. You know, I think it came out all right in the end. If I wasn't broadcasting my inept choice of cookware, I don't think anyone would have ever even known. I watched a 3-minute video of Gordon Ramsay making this dish with pears, and I gotta say, there's a reason why he's a professional, and I'm just Jeff. I'll probably say this again when I make the apple pie from this list, but some old school New Englanders, typically Vermonters, like to put a nice sharp cheddar on top of their apple pie. I've tried it, I'm not that into it, but it is a thing. You can look it up. Claire rates this an 8.4 and I rate this an 8, for an average of 8.2 and taking over second place. That was Tarte Tatin from France. Join next time to see where we go in the world. Bring your passport.